Welcome to the Counselor's Office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. We are reacting to the lie that is killing Destiny. Good for a Destiny DLC. We're watching another Joker video, a Dark Side royalty. He's also been getting a lot of flack, especially seeing on Twitter. A lot of people do not like how critical he is, but I do, because I think he's literally giving out like some facts. He's telling the facts. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we are boosting our sound as high as possible. Let me know if it's too loud. By the way, I don't know if the song is copyrighted. Like, I don't know, because this is like, I don't know. Because anytime I played Borderlands, it was copyrighted, so...
Girls, Guardians of all ages,
there you
Joker
go.
back again once again, and today, people, today, we're talking about Edge of Fate. Well, kinda, sort of. This is more of a quick...
I love, right off the rip, I'm getting like, I love the vibe that I'm getting. This is filmed like 2010. Like everyone had like their first, webcam, and it's like just shittiest quality possible. But hey, it makes it funnier. I'm not gonna lie. It does makes it funnier.
50,000 feet, spoiler-free piece of editorializing for anybody teetering on the edge, wondering if they should dive in or just watch the flaming wreckage from a distance. It's not so much a review as it is a commentary. Spoiler alert, it was not quick. So, let me ask a question. Is this the DLC you've been waiting for? Is this worth your time, your money, your last little brittle shreds of hope? Is Destiny back, baby? Well...
Is it?
I think the best way to answer this question is to talk about a phrase that you hear thrown around basically every Destiny DLC, and it's one that I've really grown to absolutely loathe over the entire Edge of Fate review cycle. Good for a Destiny DLC. Ah, yes, that critical participation trophy, the limp slap on the back. It's a phrase born in a hermetically sealed echo chamber where mediocrity, if propped up with enough asterisks and disclaimers, suddenly becomes the best thing since...
Or you have so many freaking content creators glazing the nuts out of it and lifting it up. Like, guys, this thing is crazy.
Spread proper criticism? No, we do not do that here. That is something to be dodged, deflected, and drowned out in the communal chant of, well, I had fun. Like, that's a fucking metric that matters.
That's the response to Mythic being too goddamn spongy. That there's certain people like, well, I had fun. I thought it was great. The power grind, which is absolutely dog shit. Most people agree. But hey, those people that love the grinding their nuts off, they're going to sit there and defend and say it is absolutely the bee's knees.
Matters in the grand scheme of things. Ah, yes, little Timmy, I'm glad you had fun. Just like I'm sure the developers of the lowest selling Destiny DLC in the last decade will have fun clearing out their desks. Remember, kids, fun may be subjective, but money isn't. Money doesn't care about your subjective feelings. Money cares about objective.
Data means more than I like it. And it's funny because there's a lot of people that sit and watch. They'll sit there and watch gameplay and say, like, act like, and they'll parrot what the content creator says, like, it's great, this is awesome. And then at the same time, they themselves don't actually play the game.
Results. And even, well, I had fun, feels like a bit of a dubious claim. One that is destined to die the moment the post-DLC clarity kicks in and the honeymoon phase ends. At least if history is any indication when it comes to better DLCs.
It is a roller coaster.
Most logical.
It is crazy. It is a roller coaster. Like, what? It's just like, it's crazy.
Question then, what part of Edge of Fate was fun exactly? Was it Matterspark, the third coming of Bungie, tutorializing an entire DLC around a shiny new ability? Except this time, it's not a new subclass, it's a half-baked migraine-inducing rave grenade, a gimmick so irritating, so universally panned that not even the positivity police can spin it, and are more or less willing...
They will try. They will try, though.
to throw it under the bus as sort of a compromise when defending the story? Or maybe it's the combat. And I use the term combat pretty loosely because every single boss, sub-boss, elite, named mook, and janitor with a goddamn title will inevitably, at one point or another, be cocooned in a shield of invincibility because nothing screams gameplay innovation like being forced to stop the game.
Everything is health gated. It is so annoying, which is crazy because on Mythic, why are things health gated when they have millions of health? It doesn't make sense.
Gameplay every 2 seconds to go run an errand mid gunfight. Gotta shoot the servitor and or gotta find the node that makes the servitor vulnerable so then you can go shoot the servitor, kill the servitor, and then finally shoot the boss for about 10 seconds. And then it's back to another lap around the arena while the
Unless you're playing Mythic, then you've got to spend 30 minutes first whittling it down and then you can go through that process.
music swells like something's happening. Spoiler alert, nothing's happening. Or maybe, and I'm really trying here, you enjoyed the puzzles.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Those low IQ, low effort chores that feel less like brain teasers and more like Bungie daring you to alt-tab and play something else. If boredom was a mechanic, these puzzles would be
It is so bad. New analysis shows Destiny 2 Edge of Fate campaign completions are down nearly 70%. It is funny because I think most people just bought the campaign skip after like maybe the first time doing it. Like it is crazy how bad this campaign was.
its final form, and they would call it the cure to insomnia. Or maybe, just maybe, you genuinely had fun with the power grind, that soul-sucking ritual of replaying years-old content or a year-old exotic mission again and again and again and again and again and again and again.
Which is the problem. This is why I stopped playing Solstice just now, is because it's literally just what we've been doing over and over and over. Like I spent an entire week grinding 2 different accounts to max Arms Day doing the portal. I'm spent, Chief. I'm tired. Like at least Bonfire Bash would have been something refreshing since we don't even have that.
And because this $40 slice of nothing didn't ship with enough content to sustain its own grind.
Nope.
That was, until, of course, Bungie decided that Encore was too generous and disabled it twice. Yep. You can't have players being efficient and getting to the content they actually...
not only that, but they also nerfed Grappler because it was too good. It was too good, even though they showcased it working as intended on their live stream and watch people use it. They never want, they're like, no, you're grinding too well. Sorry, little Timmy.
Want to do. No. They need 90 hours of pointless grind for worthless gear because there's no system where if by chance you get that god-rolled weapon before you've put in your 90 hours of mandatory playtime, you're allowed to level that weapon up to a tier 4 or 5 weapon. No, anything before you reach tier 4 or 5 weapons where the game actually allows you to start playing the game is essentially worthless. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, just go fuck yourself. I couldn't think of a more
like it reminds me a little bit of Borderlands, but I think Borderlands, someone can correct me, but I'm pretty sure Borderlands implemented a system where you could upgrade your older weapons. Though, let's be honest, we're talking about a single player game versus a multiplayer MMO. And it does feel really bad, especially considering we actually had crafting to upgrade your guns. It feels like the system, if you are a veteran, you don't give a shit about anything besides tier 4 and 5. If you're a new player, you still don't give a shit about anything until you start seeing shinies, like new casual players, returning players, new players, mostly, okay, not new players, but mostly casuals and returning players who like crafting. You want to see a tier 2, tier 3 with, roles that you want, right? You want to see that. You want to see, you want to make sure that It's just it's so stupid.
Moralizing system if I tried. Or maybe, just maybe, you were particularly taken aback by the story. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one. A story that is a tangled mess of half-fleshed out plot points, stitched together by a narrator's self-insert deus ex machina and the plan, where every major reveal appears exactly when the plot demands it. There's no build-up, no real mystery, just a blunt, and here's what happens now. Any pretense of organic storytelling is gone. This story is on more rails than a metaphysical freight train. It's the kind of writing that, when praised, reminds me that in 2024, 21% of adults in the US were found to be illiterate, while 54% of adults in the US had a literacy below a 6th grade reading level. So yeah.
That might explain why in like Tomb of Elders, so many people didn't actually know how to read what Bungie was putting on the screen. That explains a lot.
You had fun. Sure, no sarcasm, no Stockholm Syndrome jokes, honest. Just because I didn't find an aspect of a game well developed doesn't mean you can't, or that you're wrong for enjoying it. For example, I still have what is probably an unhealthy amount of fun running around PvP as a Titan, punching people in the face, laughing with friends, and quoting such timeless mantras as, turning a gunfight into a fistfight is an awful lot of work, tactically speaking. I still love it. I love everything about being a Titan.
I want those lobbies where people are just standing around. You can just punch them in the face. I wish I had these lobbies. Every time I see these videos of people, I wish I had these lobbies.
Maybe that says something about me. Maybe I've got a masochistic streak. Who can say? Point is, just in case all the sarcasm, spite, and borderline ranting has somehow clouded the message, there's nothing wrong with liking this. If you genuinely had a good time, Godspeed. But know what you're liking. Acknowledge its flaws and acknowledge that it's okay, normal even, for people to take issues with the game. Not with you, not with your enjoyment of it, but with the game, with the corporation making the game. And more than that, it's good for the entire goddamn industry to hold the studio that Sony handpicked to spearhead their entire live service wet dream accountable. A company that treats its employees like disposable assets, milks its player base dry, and couldn't ship a complete product if the fate of the company literally depended on it. They're not your friends, they're not the plucky underdog, they're not some little brave independent studio fighting against the odds. They're a bloated, mismanaged corpo puppet jerking around to Microsoft and Activision's playbook while Sony handles the marionette strings. And if you still want to defend that, be my guest. But don't mistake it for critical thinking. That's brand loyalty with brain damage. But I digress.
I love the fact that people are willing to defend like Sony and Bungie. They're a $1 billion company. Like Sony might be, yeah. They're not there to be your friend. They're not here for your best interest. They're not here to be like, hey, let's sing Kumbaya by the fire. None of that. They're there as a business. Their job is to make money off of you. That's their business. That's their goal. I don't know why we're having this discussion like we're trying to act like Bungie's our best friend. It is this weird parasocial like interaction from people who think that Bungie's there to be your best friend.
Now, of course, I'm not the only one sitting here scratching my head over what exactly people are praising this DLC for, because apparently the former Destiny community can't figure it out either, at least according to what Steam charts tells us. For the first time in Destiny's storied loot-chasing, dopamine-dealing history, a DLC didn't crack 100,000 players on Steam day one. It barely limped over that by the weekend, and it's been hemorrhaging players, tens of thousands of players, every single day since. This is a franchise that used to triple those numbers on the Tuesday morning of a content release before the servers stabilized. But don't worry, there's always an excuse, a reason, an extenuating circumstance. My absolutely favorite coping mechanism that has been paraded around like it's gospel is, but Joker, Final Shape was the end of a 10-year saga.
Yep,
of course people laugh. Of course. Naturally. Like clockwork. Right. 10-year story.
I think that there is merit to this argument. I really, really do. I think there's merit to this argument. But this is also a new saga, right? This is a new saga. The whole point of a new saga is to kickstart a new story, to get new people into it, right? That's what this whole situation was advertised as, was Bungie's attempt to bring in new people, not bring back people who've left, or to bring essentially veterans. The whole point is they want to bring new people into the community, into the crowd. That was like the whole point. It didn't do it. It didn't do it. Like,
Story ends, credits roll, pack it up, boys! The Destiny amusement park shuts down. Everybody files out in an orderly line, thanking the developers for the memories. Nothing to see here, move along. Except, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And it's sure as shit not how Sony or Bungie wants it to work. Plenty of franchises, successful ones, beloved ones, have kept trucking for decades without spontaneously combusting the moment they finish a storyline. Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, Warframe, Warhammer, Zelda, Resident Evil, Pokemon, Elder Scrolls, GTA. Call of Duty still lurches out of its grave every year and shambles on like a zombie.
it is funny because people shit on Call of Duty people are like, man, I can't believe they're killing Call of Duty. It's so bad. But yet Call of Duty is so successful. Bungie just doesn't have the same weight as Call of Duty. I mean, a good example is Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite literally is the same way. Literally the same way.
Zombie with a multi-billion-dollar marketing team. Then there's Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who.
When
James
I say
Bond.
Halo Infinite the same way, I mean it's not able to do what Call of Duty is anymore, where it just essentially can pull the people into it. It can't do that anymore, unfortunately. Halo doesn't have the same weight to pull and just bounce back. Plus, they're also putting out content at a much slower rate than like Call of Duty. Call of Duty, if a game is bad, then like in a year, there's another one anyways.
Batman, Superman, Transformers, Power Rangers, Godzilla, Gundam. And that's just off the top of my head. The mega popular stuff that people are gonna know at a glance. The list really does go on and on and on and on and on. I don't have to tell you guys this, everybody knows it, but entire franchises keep moving, evolving, stumbling, reinventing themselves without spontaneously combusting just because they finished a plotline. And you want me to believe that Destiny, this billion-dollar live service juggernaut, just keels over and dies because they wrapped up a storyline? Really? Please. That excuse only makes sense if you've already decided to blame everything except the actual content of the game. But Joker, franchise fatigue. Yes. Franchise fatigue, that mystical, magical force that somehow only shows up when a long-running franchise or genre starts shitting the bed harder than Amber Heard.
Whoa!
Funny how
I was not expecting that joke.
that works. Also, funny how it mysteriously evaporates the second a quality product shows up. Really gets the noggin jogging here. Because
It does.
here's the thing. When a game, movie, or show is actually good, and I mean genuinely capital G good, not good for a Destiny DLC, kinda good, nobody's crying about fatigue. Nobody's checking out. They're tuning in. They're logging on.
I think a perfect example is Avengers Endgame. Marvel has the same issue. I've never heard of franchise fatigue. Yeah. I mean, Marvel's a perfect example of this, right? They've had some really shitty stinkers since Avengers Endgame, but they've had some really good ones too. Like even their TV shows there's some hits and there's a lot of misses too. The whole concept of like, oh, it's just franchise fatigue. It is crazy that's even a thing, man. You can't use that.
They're throwing money at the screen. So no, franchise fatigue is not the problem. Mediocrity fatigue is the problem. Bullshit fatigue is the problem. Pay $40 for a half-baked DLC with less content than you used to get, while also getting nickeled and dimed every step of the way. Fatigue is the problem. You give people quality, and they show up. You give people recycled content.
Again, a perfect example is essentially the MCU, right? The MCU. That you're going to have some stinkers after the big conclusion, but you can have some absolute bangers. Even like Star Wars, which absolutely has absolutely has some issues, right? It is very blatant that Star Wars is on like a downward trend, but like Mandalorian was fantastic. Like yeah, like it's not an excuse when there's perfect examples of media that also are in the same same entertainment, right? It's an entertainment. And so it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that we're going to use that as an excuse.
Padded out encounters, weak storytelling, horde mode after horde mode after horde mode, and they leave. What? That's not fatigue, that's clarity. Final Shape wasn't just the end of a 10-year saga.
Post-Destiny nut clarity.
It was an off-ramp, a graceful exit for people neck deep in sunk cost, desperate for a reason to stop. It gave...
This is a perfect example of the Destiny community, including myself. This is like, I gotta get out of the darkness. It is, by the way, I don't think we actually see this in the campaign. Maybe I'm wrong, but literally, I think it's funny because this is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of the Destiny community, what we all look like. This is like,
just enough closure for people to walk away. Not because they were satisfied, but because they were exhausted. It gave them permission to stop pretending. And boy, did they take it. The story didn't end, just the illusion. So
it's even worse.
Say it plainly. This whole phrase, good for Destiny DLC, is a lie. Not just a lie of admission, a soft, cowardly dodge around the truth, but a lie of principle. A quiet little confession.
I also think, like, is it better than Shadowkeep and Beyond Light? I mean, let's be honest here. Let's be brutally honest. Those things probably had more content than Edge of Fate does. Like, let's be brutal. It had more, and the raids from their respective raids in the time that they were released had more value of impact than the Perpetual Desert Perpetual does. Like Desert Perpetual, like the loot is almost pointless because of how like the tiering system for that thing is, right? They murdered the value proposition from that raid, which is why no one's running that raid, but instead they're going through and doing the portal, which is free. By the way, it's free. All of it is free. So when you're looking at that value proposition, yeah.
At best, it means you have no standards. At worst, it means you have an agenda because let's be real, let's be honest, let's be real honest for a moment. Nobody wants the studio behind their favorite game to fail. So what's a little white lie? And if somebody calls you on it.
And I think that's where people get behind with like the whole overly defending crap and trying to make, you know, a reality that isn't an actual reality. Listen, I don't want Destiny to go away. I want Destiny to improve, but I'm not out here saying kill Destiny, right? No one's saying that. Or like, I'm not. But yeah, I can see Curse of Osiris is better. That is a hot take. Curse of Osiris was really bad. Though I do think I'm going to be honest. I think I did enjoy Mercury more than Kepler. I find it far more interesting, and it would have been better if they expanded Mercury, but I did find Mercury far more interesting than Kepler. Like the environment and everything, I found it more like, that's just me.
You can just shrug and say, well, it was just $40. What's $40 to you? It's just $40 and a difference of opinion. Or at worst, these people have never consumed a single piece of media outside of this franchise. No other games, no films beyond the latest reheated and
Exactly. People who only play Destiny, they have no idea what a real MMO is like. They don't know what good quality, like if anyone just took the time to play Warframe, they would see a night and day difference. It is such a difference from what a true free to play is versus what Destiny tries to paint itself as. Like going through the new player system versus Warframe, it is so much easier to just get right in and involved. Also, there's trading, so you're actually having more social options than actual Destiny, which is funny because Bungie's whole motto is we make games to foster friendships or some kind of bullshit, whatever they say. which is funny because it has never been more not antisocial. That's not a correct terminology. More socially distant than it's ever been because everyone's just running solo ops.
Treaded Marvel slop, and God forbid they've opened a chapter book since the 5th grade. Good for a Destiny DLC is a tacit admission that it can't stand on its own, that Destiny somehow deserves a separate grading scale, a discount curve for mediocrity. But here's the kicker. The real brain-bending, logic-defying, cognitive dissident souffle baked with a fresh side of recency bias. Even that phrase, good for Destiny DLC, isn't true here. Not by the franchise's own standards. Not by what we used to get before with DLC. If the bar is literally...
I mean, Taken King was amazing. Rise of Iron, I think a lot of people glazed Rise of Iron because of the Wrath of the Machine, which, I'm going to be honest, Perpetual Desert does not carry this DLC. Wrath of the Machine carried Rise of Iron. I like the raid. I think it's fun, but it is just that. It's fun. That's literally just, that's it, right? That's it.
Just don't be as bad.
And we're also Witch Queen, fantastic. Forsaken, fantastic DLC. The Final Shape, obviously, but when we're looking at what's actually good comparatively, it's not good. Like, if people are trying to compare it to Shadowkeep and Beyond Light, you're comparing, it's like taking a couple of turds and comparing them to each other. All right, which turd is better than the other? Which one? Which turd do you like better? Instead of actually comparing it to the cake, the thing that's good, right? That's what's crazy.
Shadowkeep, don't be as bad as Beyond Light, don't be as bad as Lightfall, then congratulations, ladies and gents, boys and girls, guardians of all ages. We have done this to ourselves, and we deserve every single piece of shitty content we get. Because Edge of Fate isn't Destiny at its best. It's not even good Destiny. This is Destiny on life support. So
it is. It's true. It is Destiny on life support, especially the portal. The grind itself is life support.io. It's insane.
If you did the same thing and took the off ramp, and now you're wondering, should I get back on? Because people far more emotionally entangled in this than you or I are screaming, this DLC is amazeballs! Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. For a Destiny DLC, that should be all the flashing neon warning sign you need to stay far, far away from this buggy, bloated, balance-breaking mess of a content drip. Because when the loudest praise comes prepackaged with disclaimers, caveats, and,
I also just want to point out 90% of this game is soft sunsetted. The raids, the dungeons, the other campaigns, all soft sunset. Like, there's no reason to go back and play the content, maybe for the guns, but outside of that, most of that content is now soft sunsetted. There is no reason to purchase that in the future unless you just really want to get access to subclasses. That's about it. Or if there's a specific weapon that Bungie hasn't replaced. But I'm thinking about a lot of stuff that you just don't necessarily need right now. You could go do Vault Glass and get some of the best weapons, the best hand cannon, the best sniper. You can get the best rocket launcher in the game. You can do some of the free stuff and have that, but eventually you're going to replace that anyways with the new tier system, which, by the way, some of the best, one of the best weapons that they introduced, the rocket assisted pulse rifle, which is a special, is now the best special weapon in the game. It destroys bosses, which I know I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to nerf it like they did this rocket assisted sidearms. They're going to give it the same treatment. They're going to nerf it. I know they're going to nerf it. It's just too damn good. But the point is, it's free. And so you don't need the fact that they've soft sunsetted. They've killed their own pocketbooks, which is really weird. But anyone that wants to get invested in this game is wondering, why should I buy this stuff? Why? And the answer is, you really shouldn't.
Actually, what they're really saying is, it's tolerable, if you still live here. And look, I get it. It's easy to hear a sharp, overly opinionated editorial like this and go, well, that's Joker. He's just hating to hate. But that couldn't be further from the truth. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to slap a smiley face on a landfill and call it an amusement park. And I'm sure as shit not here to play this exhausting game where every little piece of criticism is diluted with qualifiers and softened with disclaimers and wrapped in a blanket of positivity while being as apologetic as humanly possible for daring to have grievances in the first place. Toxic positivity is more hollow and dishonest than blind hate. Don't get me wrong, both are lazy, both ignore actual problems, and neither does the franchise any favors. But toxic positivity does nothing. It doesn't help anything. It ignores all the problems while everything gets worse. At least with blind hate or super negativity, there's a foundation, there's a criticism, there's a reason, there's something that can be worked upon. But toxic positivity, it ignores the problems while everything goes to shit. Just for the sake of what? Ignoring the problems, being super positive. Yeah, guys, look on the bright side. We got more Destiny. Yeah, not for much longer if these numbers keep up. Now, it might shock some of you, but I actually like Destiny. I said it before.
Shocker, guys. It's a shocker that the people that are the most vocal and critical of the game actually like the game. It is insane. The people that are wanting to promote and push that the game itself will evolve and become better. Shocker. But we're all just haters. We hate the game. That's all we do.
I'll say it again. I want this game to succeed. I don't want Bungie to crash and burn. At least, not entirely. Their management could go take a long walk for all I care, and nothing of value would be lost. But we get nowhere pretending that the ship isn't sinking. Just to what? Spare the fragile ego of a few emotionally underdeveloped twats who treat any and all criticism like a personal attack on their, what? Personality-defining addiction? That's the sort of bullshit that got us into this mess in the first place, and it's not going to get us out of it. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Remember to like, but only if you did. Subscribe for more. Feel free to donate to my Patreon if you're feeling particularly generous. And above all else,
great video by Joker. Again, I don't understand why people say, like, hey, you can't be critical, or if you are critical, then you just hate the game. That's not true. I don't understand why people are like so anti. I don't understand. They're just so anti criticism, especially if you want the game to be good. You want the game to evolve. You want the game to improve. It is not just, hey, we hate to hate. No, we want the game to be better. We enjoy the game. We have fun. Like, Destiny has fantastic gunplay. Destiny has very specific gunplay that not very many other games have. And so when you see me being critical and I give reviews, which by the way, I literally gave praise to parts of Arms Day and immediately got a comment saying, why are you always making negative videos? And right underneath, someone commented under that comment saying he literally opened up the video by talking about what was good about the event and how it met like the soul of it. Because granted, outside of the portal activity, Arms Day was literally what Arms Day was in Destiny 1. You do a little side quest, like mission, and then you're getting access to unique guns with unique like perk combinations and stuff like that. Like that was literally what I said in that review. There was already people saying like, why are you so overly negative? Brother. Brother. What? Anyways. I appreciate you for watching this video. The link to Joker's video or Dark Side will be down below. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, game out.